how do you present a huge, technically complex idea to thousands of people so that they don't just understand it, but so they buy into it? This is exactly what Bill McDermott did during ServiceNow's Knowledge25 keynote. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 techniques that he does to get the audience bought into the vision and excited about what's in the future. And one of these techniques is something dozens of execs have asked me about, and I'll tell you exactly how I'd answer it. So stay tuned. Technique number 1. In our CEO Nancy Duarte's book, Data Story, she talks about the technique of marveling at the magnitude. And this is when you do something to really call out an impressive data point that you're making. But you can do the same thing during a highly technical presentation, but you can do it with your delivery skills. And this is what we call marveling at your own message. Take a look at the way Bill does it in his.
So 21st century problems cannot be solved with 20th century architectures. Today, we face geopolitical conflicts. We have an amazing skills gap in the world, and now we have global tariffs to be concerned about. So it's impossible for you to react fast enough when 40% of office productivity is wasted as people swivel chair between 17 different application experiences a day. Blows your mind. And this is a productivity disaster. Are you feeling me?
Bill, I do feel you. And the reason I feel you is because I believe that you believe. In that clip, we see how Bill has a reaction to what it is he's presenting. He isn't just saying words that are coming up to him on a teleprompter or off of a floor confidence monitor. He believes deeply about what the current problem is, what the solution is, and how much better everyone is going to be when they enact this change. And that's something that starts to resonate with the audience. This is something you can do whenever you're presenting complex information. You can pause and sit in the silence and almost step out of your own body to have a reaction to the piece of information that you just shared. Because when you're presenting, whether it's complex and technical or not, whatever reaction you're having is the reaction the audience knows they're going to have. But especially when it's complicated and technical, giving them a moment to go, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be feeling right now, helps a long way to break up some of that complex information that they're hearing. So give this a shot if you've ever got technical presentation or you're in a high stakes situation. Think about ways that you can marvel at your own message. And not just when the message is good and happy and easy, but how you can marvel at the information when it's heartbreaking, when it's sad, when it's not one of those more comfortable emotions. That way your audience knows what they're supposed to be feeling in that moment. Technique number 2. Okay, this is the question that executives ask me pretty much more than anything else. What do I do with my hands? Turns out hands are a big source of anxiety for main stage speakers. The good news is the technique is pretty simple. Use your hands. But I can make that a little bit more sophisticated with you after you watch the way Bill uses his hands during the keynote.
This lack of integration, this fragmentation caused by siloed org structures, rigid, boring org charts, and it's led to processes that are siloed in these legacy architectures that are strangling companies. And that's why only 1 in 4 digital transformation projects ever delivered a positive ROI due to the lack of integration. We have to change this. You know why? The cost of this legacy inefficiency is killing us. It's a $10 trillion tax on the US economy alone. That's equivalent to 7% of GDP in the world.
Bill is underlining his key points with his hands. He's using them as an opportunity to add more reinforcement to the message that he's communicating. So that way his audience is not only hearing him, but they're seeing something to ground it all together. This is absolutely something you can do whether you're on the main stage or you're in a virtual meeting room. Make your hands match the moment. If you're on the main stage, you got to go big, probably bigger than you're comfortable with, because when you do, it seems really nice across that wide stage and it lets you bring everyone into your ideas. Plus, people can see you. It plays really well in a big space. But even in a smaller space, you can bring your hands in and still communicate meaning with your gestures. So give that a try, no matter where it is you may be delivering these messages in the future. Plus, if you're talking about highly complex information, you can use your hands to break apart those pieces, break it down for people. So again, you're helping to simplify a complex topic, not just with your words, but also with your body. Technique number 3, execs often get on stage with beautifully crafted scripts, words that their teams have spent months and weeks poring over to make sure every single word counts. And then often the executive gets up on stage and it all falls flat because it doesn't sound the way humans talk. Well, luckily, that's not a problem for Bill.
Why does that matter? Because we handle both sides of the coin. On one side, you've got to manage productivity, lots of productivity, revenue per employee, cost takeout. Everything now has to be marginalized where you have different expectations on your revenue. You have to hold your margin profile. OpEx has to be controlled. Okay? One side of the coin. Second side of the coin is you've got to balance audacity of the dream. New business models driven by AI so you grow. And 10 years from now, you have a thriving company, not a sleepy old failing company. So we're going to bring AI agents to every corner of your business. And here's the story of this platform. It goes east to west across every function. And it goes north to south, up and down the stack.
So if I had to bet, he's unscripted in this talk. Maybe he has talking points in a monitor, but it doesn't look like me like he is reading off of a teleprompter or he is staring at a confidence monitor down below. And even if he is, the technique here is the same. Chop up your sentences. Chop them up. Because when you're talking in conversation with someone, it's not all beautifully structured with the right verb noun sequence and embedded clauses. No, people speak in fragments. So it's okay to do that when you're speaking in front of a live audience. People also start sentences and then they're like, no, never mind, and they stop them. So when Bill's doing this throughout, it makes us feel like we are in conversation with him, like we are sitting down and learning something live in the moment, not like we are being force-fed information that was perfectly manicured for us beforehand. So that's something that you can try for your presentations, or if you're the writer, take a look at the content. Now, I'm still a big fan of writing the first draft down because it helps clarify thought. But after that, take a look at everything and ask yourself, could I make this more conversational? Could I chop these pieces up? Are there places, if I'm scripted or if I'm unscripted, where I could have a little bit of a reaction, marvel at my message, and that might not show up here in the written document? That's going to help the message land for my audience. Technique number 4. Bill takes us on a bit of a journey, walking us throughout a world that is complicated and takes longer than it should and is full of tension, and then to a world that could be better when all of these AI capabilities are realized. Here's how he does it.
So in this era of agentic AI, what's going to happen? The traditional app stack is going to collapse. The number of apps are going to be radically reduced. 20th century systems are going to become core databases. They will feed into the ServiceNow platform where the real work is happening. And AI can only achieve its full potential when it spans across every system, every department, and every function. Guess what? Knowledge is so cool because only we can do this. AI makes the impossible possible. And speed is the ultimate competitive advantage.
Now at Duarte, we call this technique creating contrast. Contrasting the world as it is today against the world that could be possible when this new future is enacted. A lot of technical presentations try a version of this. They try a problem solution version, but they're not the same thing, and let me explain why. Often technical presentations will give the problem really quickly and then spend the majority of the time talking about the solution or the features and the benefits. The human brain cannot pay attention to all of that good, flowery, shiny, rainbow, unicorn information. We can't do it. The human brain is wired for contrast. We need to know about that current state or the problem and then the solution. But then we need to go back to feeling the tension and the anxiety before we can get the release of what's good again. That toggling back and forth, we refer to it as toggling between the what is and what could be. And Bill does this throughout, and that helps with the technical nature of the information he's presenting, but makes me start to feel I get it. I understand what is possible for me before I'm pulled back into the current state that I'm sitting in now. You can absolutely do this. You can take a look at the type of information that you're presenting, and instead of front loading or back loading the problem or the solution, look for ways that you can toggle back and forth between what is and what could be to really get that visceral emotional reaction from your audience, which increases the likelihood that they are going to do the change that you want them to. Technique number 5. Let's watch the clip first, and then I'm going to break down this technique for you.
AstraZeneca is leveraging the ServiceNow AI platform to bring automation and AI agents to every corner of their business. Because when you have that bold of an ambition of bringing 20 new life-saving medications to market by 2030, then every minute matters. So we're going to walk you through how they're doing this, starting in the lab. Now, everyone, please meet Brittany, our lab manager. For Brittany, procurement isn't just logistics, it's mission critical. We can't afford to have any delay to our research. Now, what used to be a manual, tedious process full of siloed systems and spreadsheets and, as you heard, even notepads, is now a streamlined and even fun experience.
Of course it is. I've got a new notification here, and it says one of our devices is offline. So, let's check it out. Whoa, I can talk to the AI agent?
Cool.
Okay. It looks like it's displaying an error code.
Can you share a picture?
All right. Open up this camera here. Let's snap a few photos and get that sent in. Okay, well, that's pretty impressive. I didn't have to know anything about this device. The AI agent detected the damage, it knew it was under warranty, it's also even already issued the replacement and sent me shipping information.
Amazing.
That is pretty cool. I wonder what else it can do. How are we on supplies for the upcoming research assignment?
Based on the sensors, here are the missing supplies.
This is a game changer. I didn't have to look up this research record or take stock of our current supplies. The AI agent had the context, it was able to pull data from the shelf sensors, so it knew what inventory to order, and place this order form for me with preferred pricing from our vendors. I'm gonna add this, and confirm this order.
Now that's AI that's built in, not bolted on. When AI agents are combined with connected data sources and automated workflows, they don't just assist, they take action. AstraZeneca receives up to 60,000 of these requests a year, and what used to take 20 to 30 minutes, as you can see, is now fulfilled in a matter of seconds, which is imperative when every minute matters.
Okay, I am not a technical person. I do not show up to work in protective gear. I do not have to deal with technical pieces of equipment. And yet, I am inspired because they use the technique of creating a star moment. A star moment stands for something they'll always remember. And in this case, the there is the audience. Something they'll always remember. This is a great example of a star moment because instead of just telling us how the technology works, they're doing a demo that really shows it to us. But they take it a step further. They do this demo in a live scenario. So they're creating this atmosphere where I envision there is some person working in this space with this type of equipment and their tablet, and now they're going to take a photo of it and they're going to interact on an interface. So even though that's not my daily world, I can see it. I can feel it. And in my own work, I think, oh, I wish I didn't have to hunt through applications, file systems, get multiple systems of approval just to get moving forward with my day job. That tracks for me. And the only reason it feels so real is because they did the hard work of creating a star moment. So if you've got a big, huge technical presentation on a main stage, you want to put a lot of thought into how you can create something the audience will always remember. But even on a smaller scale, this is something that you can do. When you really know truly the pain points and the hopes and the dreams of your audience, find something that you can put in the presentation, whether it's in the writing or in the visuals or in some sort of moment of engagement that will resonate with them, that will make them remember you and make them excited about this future that you've created and inspire them to move forward. Now, these 5 techniques I shared are not just for tech CEOs, they're really for everyone. If you can stop and in your preparation phase, think about ways that you can marvel at your own message to help tell your audience how they can react, how you can use your hands to underline all of those key points so it sticks better in their brain, how you can chop up your sentences and make them easier for your audience to pay attention to, how you can create those moments of contrast between what is what could be, and putting a little effort into creating that star moment. That's how you're going to be able to help make sure those really complex technical presentations land for your audience. And really, any kind of presentation these tips will work for. So if you want to know more about how persuasive techniques could help improve your presentations, Nancy made a video where she breaks down her viral TED Talk structure, how she was able to garner over 3 million views to date. So watch that video and have another stockpile of techniques that you can do to connect with your audience and get them to move forward the way you want them to. Until next time.